All right. State your name and date of birth.
Cody Garza.
You've got a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. I'm also setting an evidentiary hearing for July 23rd at 1:30. So Arizona has a criminal rule, 4.2A7A. If you're out on release and then you commit another felony, you can't bond out. You have to stay in custody. But you do get to challenge that. And that's going to be at that evidentiary hearing on July 23rd, okay? Get your paperwork from the court staff. Good luck. Stuart Rope, come on in, and Sebastian Gomez to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Stuart Rope, 22.
All right, you've got a failure to appear, two matters. The first one is a failure to appear warrant for one count of possession of narcotic drug, Class 4 felony. You already have a court-appointed lawyer. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference July 22nd at 8:30, and the judge set your bond at $500. Now you've got a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of narcotic drug, Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference July 22nd at 8:30. I'm setting an evidentiary hearing for July 23rd at 1:30. You were out on release on the first case, so pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule of Procedure 7.2A7A, you're going to be held non-bondable because you were out on felony release. But you do get to challenge that, and that will happen at the evidentiary hearing on the 23rd of July, okay? Good luck to you. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Sebastian Gomez, come on in. Trevian Payne to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Sebastian Angel Gomez.
All right, you've got four matters. The first one is a Superior Court new case, alleging one count of possession of narcotic drug, Class 4 felony, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. You will have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing, which will be a status conference July 22nd at 8:30. And I've set a $2,000 bond on this. Now, the next three matters are all probation violations. You're on probation for 2 Class 6 felonies and 1 Class 4. Probation is alleging you violated terms 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed a lawyer on each of these to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30. Pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule of Procedure 7.2C, you'll be held non-bailable on all of those. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Good luck to you. Trevian Payne, come on in.
Is there any possibility you could consider probably releasing me to pretrial services on an ankle monitor?
No, not when you have 3 probation violations and you had warrants out for your arrest and then there's a new felony.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Trevian Payne, come on in. Nicholas Pena to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Trevian Payne.
You've got a Superior Court new case alleging 1 count of assisting a street gang, Class 2 felony, 2 counts of threat intimidating with gang signs, Class 3 felony, and 5 counts of disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanors. I could not find that you're indigent based on your financial affidavit. So, actually, you know what? Redo this paperwork. I am gonna appoint you attorney. I'm going to appoint you an attorney to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. It's at a $10,000 bond. If you post that bond, You cannot return to the alleged scene of the crime and no contact with the alleged victims. You get it?
Yes, ma'am.
No social media, no posting, no having somebody else drive by their house. None of that.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll end up in here with no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, get your paperwork.
Okay.
Nicholas Pena, come on in. Karina Flores to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Nicholas James Pena.
Date of birth? Oh, no problem. Probation violation warrant you have for your probation that you're on for a Class 3 felony. Probation is alleging you violated Term 1. That's getting new charges. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30, and the judge who signed the warrant set your bond at $5,000. But you'll be getting credit for this time on this probation violation, okay?
Is there, I have a quick question, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Is there any possible way that, because I'm actually,
At DOC?
right, I'm at DLC, so is there any possible way that we can, schedule, like, arrange a video court?
No, you'll stay here, but let me just tell you that your next court hearing could wrap it all up, because I've set it for an arraignment and possible disposition,
I hope so,
okay?
yeah,
So that's only 7 days.
okay.
So it's both. If you work something out with your attorney and the state.
Yeah, 'cause it's a long drive out here, Your Honor, you know? And it's
Oh, yeah, and a
tiring,
lot of people
tiring.
just rather go back.
Right,
Yeah,
and-
I get that. So it's set for both.
So
so-
it can go either way?
Yeah, it depends on if you want a hearing or if you, I don't, they might, if you admit one of the, allegations, then they might just go to sentencing right away. That's
Even
why
though-
it's set for both.
Yeah, even though I'm already sentenced on the other thing, I mean, well, out of your professional opinion, what do you think? Can it possibly be rent concurrent?
I have
or-
no idea.
Okay, all right.
No idea. No problem. All right, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Karina Flores, come on in.
Thank you, sir.
And then Gina Scarano to the chair outside the courtroom. Ma'am, state your name and date of birth.
Karina Flores.
You've got a failure to appear warrant for 2 counts of aggravated DUI while license is suspended or revoked. Those are Class 4 felonies.
Okay.
You already have a court-appointed lawyer. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30, and I've set a $2,500 bond. If you post that bond, you've got a long list of conditions. No driving a car without a valid driver's license.
Of course.
Get your paperwork from the court staff. Gina Scarano, come on in. Nathan Mick to the chair outside the courtroom. Gina, come on in. And Nathan Mick to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Gina Scarano, 220.
Got a probation violation warrant for your probation that you're on for a Class 6 felony. Probation is alleging you violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30. I've set a $2,000 bond. If you post that bond, you've got a long list of conditions you're going to have to follow. Understood?
Yeah.
Get your paperwork from the court staff. Nathan Mick, come on in. Jesus Aragon to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Nathan Mick,
You've got a Superior Court new case alleging one kind of criminal trespass in the first degree. That's a Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. I've set a $2,000 bond. Looks like you might have to go to court in Scottsdale, too. We've got an open case there.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, for shoplifting. All right, get your paperwork from the court staff. Jesus Aragon, come on in. Ruben Martinez to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth. And your name?
Jesus Aragon.
Okay, you got a grand jury warrant, which means a grand jurors met, they heard testimony, they found probable cause on one count of possession or making contraband as a prisoner, Class 2 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, July 23rd at 8:30, and the grand jury judge set your bond at $1,000.
Right. Is there any way I'll be sent back to DOC within a week or two?
No,
So I'll be staying right here in Maricopa?
until this is done. But your next court hearing is the 23rd, so it
Okay.
all depends on whether you have a trial or if you make a plea deal or just like I told the other guy.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Ruben Martinez, come on in. Anthony Kugler to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Ruben Martinez,
You've got a probation violation warrant for your probation that you're on for a Class 6 felony. Probation is alleging you violated Term 3. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30. I've set a $1,000 bond. If you post that bond, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay?
okay.
Get your paperwork from the court staff. Anthony Kugler, come on in, and then Michael Alvarez to the chair outside the courtroom. Do I have Anthony Kugler? Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Anthony Kugler,
Three matters. The first one is a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent him. His next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. I'd set a $900 bond on that. Then the next two matters that you have are probation violations. You're on probation for 2 Class 6 felonies. Probation is alleging you violated Term 1, getting the new charge. I've appointed a lawyer on both of these to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30. I've set a $900 bond on both of those. If you post these 3 bonds, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Good luck to you. Michael Alvarez, come on in. Marley Jasso to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Michael Alvarez,
Matters, they're both probation violations. You're on probation for 2 Class 6 felonies. Probation is alleging you violated Terms 6 and 7. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you on both of these. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, July 23rd at 8:30. And the judge who signed these warrants set your bond at $250 on each. If you post these 2 bonds, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay? Get your paperwork from the court staff. Good luck to you. Marley Jasso, come on in. Jamie Clark to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Miley Renee Hasso.
You've got a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. Set a $250 bond. If you post that, you've got a long list of conditions. Don't miss court, because you have several failures to appear. All right? Get your paperwork.
So I'm not getting out? I have to stay?
No, you have a history of not going to court. Jamie Clark, come on in. Sean Barrios to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Jamie Clark.
Okay, you have 3 matters. First one is from Ironwood Justice Court for one count of an assault. That's a misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, July 19th at 8:30. They had asked for a $245 bond. I reduced it to $50. The next one is an Ironwood Justice Court warrant for one count of disobeying or resisting an order of the court. That's a misdemeanor. Again, I appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, July 19th at 8:30. They had again asked for $245. I reduced it to $50. Then the last one is you have a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of narcotic drug, Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30, and I set a $250 bond. Get your paperwork from the court, staff. Sean Barrios, come on in. Jasmine Leonard to the chair outside the courtroom.
Commissioner. For Jasmine Leonard, there's a page 2 of the here. Do you want me to add it to this calendar?
Yes. State your name and date of birth.
Sean Michael Barrios, 11.
Justice Court warrant from West Mesa Justice Court for one count of DUI, liquor, drug, or vapors. That's a misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, July 19th at 8:30. Are you in DOC custody?
So, Judge, Your Honor, I had my sentencing today on a DOC case, and I was completely unaware of this 2019 warrant. From my understanding,
So just tell me, are you in custody or not?
yes,
DOC.
Your Honor. Today I turned myself in at downtown,
Okay,
and then this warrant popped up.
yeah.
But I'm supposed to go to Alhambra.
Okay, so I would normally release you on this, but it's not a good idea for me to release you on it because if you're in custody, you're going to get credit on this one too. So I'm just going to set $50.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's better for you because if I would release you, you wouldn't get credit.
Okay, but I have a question for you, Judge.
Yeah.
When you set this bond, do I have to stay here in county? Okay. I want to do my time at DOC.
But let me just tell you, your court date on this is in 3 days.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's in 3 days. I'll stay, and then I'll go to where I need to.
You could, if you get it taken care of. I mean, it's on the 19th.
Do these days that I stay for 3 days count toward this?
Yes,
DOC
that's
session?
why I'm saying.
Okay, so no matter
If I
what.
was to release you, you're gonna get credit on this and on your Alhambra.
Okay, all right.
But if I would release you, you wouldn't get credit.
Okay, I understand.
So that's why I just said $50.
And then go to this in 3 days and then resolve it there.
See if you can resolve it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Because it looks like it's a post adjudication, like you owe some money.
Yeah, so I already talked to one judge a couple of years ago, and it was supposed to be written off for credit time served, and they never took it off.
And that's why it's even better that you're
Yeah.
staying 3 days, isn't
Because
it?
there's more credit time served toward it.
Yeah, so, all right, get your paperwork.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep. Is there a warrant attached on this?
I already attached it.
Oh, there it is. 100 secured. Oh, shoot. I might have to change this other one then. Another warrant for you just popped up, so we're trying to get that. Let me just see, is this? Oh, is this post failure to pay? Okay. All right, I gotta change these. All right, state your name and date of birth.
Jasmine Lanique Leonard.
All right, you've got two cases now because another warrant they found, all right, while you were here. The first case that you have is a Superior Court new case alleging they charged 2 counts of narcotic drug, class 4 felonies. I could only find probable cause on 1, and let me tell you why. The other substance that they said was a narcotic drug, they didn't have tested. If they test it and it turns out to be a narcotic drug, they will refile and you will have 2 counts. Right now you only have 1, okay? Then 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, class 5 felony, then 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, and then 1 count of failure to notify of an accident with an unintended vehicle, class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, July 22nd at 8:30. Set a $900 bond on this. Now, the case that just came up is a municipal court case out of Goodyear. It's for failure to pay on an extreme DUI with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 to 0.20. That's a misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment, July 24th at 8:30. They had asked for a $500 bond. I reduced it to $50. Okay? All right, get your paperwork from the court staff.